Artikel im Dativ. Before we begin with the articles, let's go through the learning objectives. Firstly, we'll learn what is dative and the question wem. This will be followed by definite articles in dative case, then the indefinite articles in dative case, and finally the negative articles. So, let's begin. Dative. Let's first take an example to understand what is dative. Here are two sentences. Die Mutter kauft ein Kleid. Die Mutter kauft der Tochter ein Kleid. The first sentence just has one object, that is ein Kleid, and is without a dative object. Whereas in the second sentence, we have two objects, der Tochter and ein Kleid. Der Tochter is the dative object. Now let's try to understand this. Die Mutter kauft der Tochter ein Kleid. As you all have noticed, die Mutter ist das Subjekt, which is in Nominativ, whereas ein Kleid is das Akkusativobjekt, or you even call it direktes Objekt. The second object is der Tochter, which is the indirect object and the dative object. In sentences with more than two objects, the indirect object, which is usually a person, is the object for which an action is intended. In this sentence, the mother buys a dress. This is the action, and she buys the dress for the daughter. Hence, the daughter is the indirect object. So, once again, an indirect object or the dative object is mostly a person for whom the action is intended. This person or persons can be either singular or plural. Let's move on. Wem kocht Petra eine Suppe? Petra kocht dem Mann eine Suppe. As you have noticed, the indirect object, dem Mann, is also the dative object here. The question word which is used here is wem. So basically, wem is used to ask about a dative object in a sentence. Now let's see what happens to the articles in Dative. Bestimmte Artikel im Dativ. We'll be doing a few sentences to understand them. Der Weihnachtsmann gibt dem Mann ein Geschenk. Der Mann changes to dem Mann in Dativ. Moving to the next one. Der Weihnachtsmann gibt der Frau ein Geschenk. Die Frau changes to der Frau in Dativ. Let's move to the next one. Der Weihnachtsmann gibt dem Kind ein Geschenk. Das Kind changes to dem Kind in Dativ. Let's see what happens in the plural case. Der Weihnachtsmann gibt den Kindern Süßigkeiten. In this case, the article die changes to den and you add an n to the noun. That is, die Kinder changes to den Kindern. Let's look at the bestimmte Artikel once again. For masculine, der changes to dem. For feminine, die changes to der. For neutral, das changes to dem. And for plural, die changes to den and an n is added to the noun. Do remember that the dative article for masculine and neutral is the same, that is dem. Let's move on to unbestimmte Artikel im Dativ. Let's do a few sentences to understand them. Er bringt einem Gast das Essen. In this case, ein changes to einem. Moving to the feminine case, er bringt einer Frau das Essen. Eine changes to einer in dative. Let's move to the next article. Er bringt einem Kind das Essen. Ein changes to einem in dative. Let's look at these articles together. Unbestimmte Artikel im Dativ. For masculine, ein changes to einem. For feminine, eine changes to einer. For neutral, ein changes to einem. And for plural, there is no unbestimmte Artikel. But if you use a noun in plural as a dative object, don't forget to add the n at the end. In this case also, you should remember that the dative article for masculine and for neutral is the same, that is einem. Let's move on to the negative article im Dativ. Here's the table where we have summarized them. The negative articles are similar to the unbestimmte Artikel. Let's look at them. For masculine, kein changes to keinem. For feminine, keine changes to keiner. For neutral, kein changes to keinem. And for plural, keine changes to keinen, and we add an n to the noun. In this case also, you should remember that the article in dative for masculine and neutral is the same, that is keinem. Now let's summarize all the articles in dative. For the bestimmt, unbestimmt and negative article in masculine, you should remember that they all end with em, that is dem, einem, keinem. Similarly, the articles in feminine end with an er, that is der, einer and keiner. The neutral article is similar to the masculine article. All you have to add is an em at the end. That is dem, einem and keinem. For plural, only the unbestimmte Artikel has no dative article. But for bestimmt and for negative, you add an en, and don't forget to add an n to the plural noun in dative. This should make learning dative articles easy for you.